And hello, hello, hello. Are we good? Are we live? Are we here now? Are we awake? Have the sheeple awoken? Open every podcast like that. Hello, time to wake up, sheeple. Welcome to the podcast. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Seems like we're good. Mace Dog, hello. How are you, friend? How you doing, buddy? Put this over here. More or less prepared. I'm getting better with being prepared before the stream actually starts, but, you know. 1 plus 0 is still only 1, but it's not 0. So. But hello. Hello, hello, hello. What is this? Duck Assist? I can check to see if Wikipedia has relevant info. Yeah, it does. I see it right there. Thank you. What is going on, everybody? If the music's too loud, let me know. If I'm too loud, let me know. If anything is anything, let me know. We got a fun one today. One that I might actually go on site one day for. Aside from... Now, I thought that there were, like, a cult here. We'll look into this. This is today's topic, but... Yeah, cult activity. Aside from this, even in despite, I may one day find the right group to pull with me to go here and go on site. But that's for another day to talk about. I'm crisp like the fresh morning air of a young winter day. How's that? Is that good? Is that good enough for you? But hello, everybody. I'm just realizing my shirt is actually green, not blue, so it's a bit iffy on the camera's green screen filter on OBS. It's fine, whatever. Not our problem. It will be, but not right now. Now, normally, for those of you who may be watching this on video on demand, I start out by choosing at random a cryptid to research ahead of time. However, today I actually chose one ahead of time. So I normally choose one like during the soundtrack during the video in live stream. But today it wasn't today. It was actually, I want to say 4 days ago, 5 maybe, roughly around there. I was watching a live stream of a YouTuber, alright, Lore Lodge, go check them out, they're pretty good. And the YouTuber was doing a Q&A session, and one of them was, what are your thoughts on the Bridgewater Triangle? Now, Lore Lodge is one of the few people that, by few I mean two, that inspired me to do this cryptid podcast. And when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, what is that? So I looked into it, and it is a triangle in Massachusetts. I live in Massachusetts. So when I heard about that, I just went automatically, let's go. Like, I am pumped, I am ready, and it's... I feel like I'm balding. This headset always makes it look like I'm balding. Plus I got a haircut, and it's like, I don't know, I'm getting old. I'm pumped. I want to go here, like, on feet on the ground. You know what I mean? I really want to do this. Again, the only thing that is stopping me is the cult activity. But I'm going to see we're going to see today if that has any actual merits to it. Just because, like, if there's no merit to it, how bad can the cult activity really be? You know, I mean, it's a large area, so we'll see. We'll see. It's on the back burner. I'll put it that way. This is one of 2 places I would actually really like to go to do some... on the ground research for. I would really enjoy it, but one thing at a time. First, get my life in order, which is still a work in progress. Haha, my friends know that. Also, I have to shave down the mustache a little bit. I have to like trim it at the top of the lip because I'm losing my mouth. My mouth is going away behind it, and the beard I gotta like shave down, and this I gotta get rid of. I'm getting to be a mess. Getting to be a mess. I'm turning into a woodsman, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Not the worst thing in the world, but you know. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Usually I let 5 minutes pass to let anybody who may want to come in and check out the live stream for themselves to filter in. Seems like we're pretty much good on that front, so I think we are good to get started. I do feel a yawn coming up, though, so prepare for that. But let us begin. Lettuce. Eat your lettuce. Eat your greens. All right, so welcome to the Whistler's Cryptid Podcast. Now it's been 5 minutes. If you've never seen us before, what we do here, by we I mean I, because it's a one-man show, is I every week look at the cryptid Wikipedia, except for this week. This week is different, and last week too. Last week was a little different. I promise. Normally, we look at the cryptid Wikipedia, and we choose a cryptid to talk about for the week. We do research. We see what the story says. We see if any of the claims line up with what it actually should be. And then also any potential evidence. Last week we went over the Alux. The Alux was in the news, believe it or not, because of the Mexican president. Well, I don't really have a lot of good to say about that because the Mexican president posted a picture on Twitter from 2021. So, not calling him a liar, just saying either put that out knowingly that it wasn't a new picture claiming it was, or he just trusted one of his underlings and rolled with it without checking himself. Either way, last week was a current event topic, I'll call it. This week, not so much, but it's something I heard about. And like I said in the beginning of the podcast here, this is something that I heard about on another live stream, actually, from a commenter. Not even the live streamer himself. So go check out Lore Lodge. After this goes live as a video on demand, I will put the link in the description to them. Very good channel. Does a lot of really interesting stuff. I would love to work with them. But they run basically a business over there on YouTube, and yeah, I don't know how to do that. So, you know, probably never happen. But regardless, they're a really good channel. Check them out if you like even half the stuff that we talk about here. Otherwise, moving on from plugging a channel that doesn't know about my existence, I do that a lot. I digress. So this week we're going over the Bridgewater Triangle. I don't know anything about this. Every week whenever we choose a cryptid, I don't know anything about what we're talking about. So we're going to learn together. We're going to go over the different things it could be. And we're going to go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast if you're watching live. And let's get right into this. So we start with the Wikipedia article whenever we start reading about a cryptid. And we go from there and look at possibly relevant sites and try to kind of get a picture of what it is that we're dealing with here. Sound good? We all good, everybody? All right. Let's get into it. So, the Bridgewater Triangle. The Bridgewater Triangle is an area of about 200 square miles, or 520 kilometers squared, within southeastern Massachusetts in the United States, claimed to be the site of an alleged paranormal phenomena ranging from UFOs to poltergeists, orbs, balls of fire, and other spectral phenomena, various Bigfoot-like sightings, giant snakes, and thunderbirds. We did a video on the Whistler's Cryptid Podcast, I think it was 10 episodes ago by this point. That was Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal was very similar, and shout out to Lord Shax, I think it was, who was here that suggested it. Lake Baikal was a lake in, I think, Russia. And Russia, the Russian lake Baikal, it had many different types of paranormal phenomenon going around it, much like the Bridgewater Triangle. Now, what makes it different is that had a lot of government conspiracies around it. So, Lake Baikal had a lot of ideas such as the cosmonauts from the space race. Something about Sputnik, I think. There was an underwater creature in the lake that was reported to be there. Lost civilization of aliens, I think, because it was such a big lake. I mean, you're talking like, you know, deep on the iceberg there of kind of stuff that was talked about. This is a lot more basic, but it's also American. And a lot of American paranormal phenomenon, they don't go super deep when it comes to the subject matter, unless you start getting into folklore, which there is a very clear, distinct difference once you start looking into it. The eastern side of the world versus the western, and that might be a video I might do one day. I've kind of been playing around with that a little bit the last few days, of maybe comparing cryptids from the eastern side of the world to the western, Canada, Mexico, US versus the rest of the world, I guess, basically. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe one day I might do something about that. But continuing on with the article here. The term was coined by New England-based cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman. Now, if you watch our first episode, and when I read I read this first paragraph, right? I could not contain my excitement, because we know who that is. We read about Lauren Coleman earlier in the very first episode of this podcast, where we read about the Dover Demon, and Lauren Coleman was one of the people who did research into the Dover Demon and is an esteemed New England cryptozoologist. So, I'm just saying, it's really cool that we're catching up with Lauren Coleman once again. Moving on. Specific boundaries of the Bridgewater Triangle were location. First described by cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman, who coined the term in the 70s, and later in his mysterious... I said his earlier, right? We know Lauren Coleman? Yeah, I think I did. In his book, Mysterious America, which that's a book I gotta pick up. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that's on Audible. That'd be cool. Alright. Historic places and landmarks. Now, this is just a list. This isn't a long article. This is just a list of different phenomenon and where the phenomenon are happening in the Bridgewater Triangle. The Hockomock Swamp. Central to the area is Hockomock Swamp, which means the place where spirits dwell. English colonizers called it Devil Swamp. Alleged sightings reported here include various flying creatures and ghosts. Again, not super out of this world kind of stuff, right? It's expected with American cryptids. And even then, that's not really cryptids, that's ghosts. Like, that's paranormal, so whatever. Freetown Fall River State Forest. When you get into forests, there's a lot that can start to happen, alright? So, if you don't know, 411 is pretty much the Park and Forest Service equivalent of 911. I do more research into it, and I don't want to talk too confidently about it because I'm still learning about it. But basically, forests and 411 and missing persons reports, stuff like that, are very mysterious if you look into it. So there's a lot going on there. It doesn't surprise me that a forest, especially a state forest, is involved with the Bridgewater Triangle. But the Freetown Fall River State Forest has reportedly been the site of various cult activity, including animal sacrifice, ritualistic murders committed by admitted Satanists, as well as a number of gangland murders and a number of suicides. Now, would I like to do research on the ground? Yes. Would I play around with UFOs? Ghosts? Well, I shouldn't say play around. That may sound like I'd be loosey-goosey with it. I wouldn't be. But would I be willing to investigate UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot, giant snakes, thunderbirds, Bigfoot-like sightings, balls of fire, orbs, that kind of stuff? Absolutely. Because that's stuff that I don't understand, and so I feel less worried about it. When you start getting into cults, that's where I kind of like, okay, let's take it back just a little bit here. All right, I'm a little worried about the whole cults thing. So, again, if I ever do go here, don't expect a thorough search of like 1-to-1 ratio with everything you're reading to Wikipedia, because I would be a little bit worried with the whole cults thing. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Profile Rock. The supposed site of where Wampanoag... I don't know how to say that. That's awful of me. Wampanoag? Wampanoag? I'll say Wampanoag. Sure. Of where Wampanoag historical figure Anawan received the lost Wampum belt. Wampum belt. Isn't that like Wampa fruit from Crash Bandicoot? Do you think that's where they possibly got it? I don't know. The Wampum Belt. From Philip, legend has it that the ghost of a man can be seen sitting on the rock with his legs crossed or outstretched arms, located in the Freetown Falls State River Forest. Again, the forest. Solitude Stone. An inscribed stone located near Forest Street in West Bridgewater, which was found near a missing person's body. Also known as Suicide Stone, the rock was found with the inscription, "All ye who in future days walk by Nunk at Esset. Nunkanatset? I'll say Nunkanatset. Nunkanatset stream love, not him who hummed by his lay cheerful to the parting beam, but the beauty that he wooed. All ye who in future days walk by Nunkanatset stream, love not him who hummed his lay, cheerful to the parting beam, but the beauty that he wooed." Okay, I feel like that should rhyme, but it just doesn't. Wumpology. We're not talking about this or this. Have you tried turning it to Wumbo? Alright. Bridgewater State University, which is an actual university. Several buildings and rooms on campus are alleged to be haunted by ghosts and other paranormal phenomena, which is very cool. Taunton State Hospital. When you get into hospitals, you know something's about to go down. Some visitors have claimed that they had strange paranormal experiences in the hospital, including being touched and pulled in certain areas of the hospital. It is also claimed that the hospital was used by satanic cults during the 60s and 70s. Again, we're getting into the area of cults, which really irks me, because I wish there were no cults there. Otherwise, this would be 100% on my list of places to go. But that's fine. Alright, that's fine. We're going to keep going. Hornbin School. The one-room schoolhouse was built during the 1840s and remained in active use until 1937. The building is alleged to be haunted by its former inhabitants. Okay. So those are, like, the key places. Alright. That's a very small building. Now we're getting down to the paranormal claims. And don't worry, we're gonna do plenty of research into everything that we're seeing here today. This might be a longer one. I'm hoping for about 2 hours. My back does hurt, and I don't have the best chair in the world, so no promises. But I would really like to do a lot of research into each one of these locations, just so we have a better understanding of what we're dealing with here. Common to most of these areas is a mix of reported phenomena. That includes reports of, here we go, unidentified flying objects, UFOs. Often in the form of bright balls of light or large, unusual spacecraft. Basic. It's very basic. Unnatural animal sightings. Now we're getting into fun stuff. Ranging from unusual reports of animals that are not found within the area, such as panthers and bears, to more supernatural beings of giant snakes and enormous vicious dogs. That would be so cool to see from a distance. No, I said from a distance. Can you imagine? You're just walking in a forest, and you look to your right, and there's just a dog, like, the size of a human that's supposed to be, like, a feral dog. Ugh. I mean, I feel bad for the dog in a little bit of a weird way, but, like, even still, that'd be so cool. Ooh. What is this? Alright, I'll have to look into this another day. Lovecraft Country in the Pukwudgie? Yeah, that's down here. Alright, continuing on. Paranormal humanoids, including sightings of Bigfoot, ghosts, poltergeists, and shadow people. I saw a shadow person when I was, like, 4 years old. Like, okay. Not saying they're nothing to play. I'm not saying that, you know, they're whatever, but, I mean, there are ways to handle those if you are really worried about them. Thunderbird sightings. Giant birds or pterodactyl-like flying creature with wingspans up to 12 feet are claimed to have been seen in Hockomock Swamp and neighboring Taunton and Easton, including a report by Northern Police Sergeant Thomas Downey. That's something we're going to look into. I didn't know about that. Oh, my back. Oh, that was a good crack. We actually looked into Thunderbirds. We did. They are that sounds weird. They are a Native American folklore legend that apparently has a photo to back up the claim of it, and are also very much the conjugation of multiple different explanations for natural occurrences that at the same time can't fully be explained. They're an interesting one. If you want to hear more about Thunderbird, I'm going to do a self-plug here. I did an episode on them, so go check it out in the playlist for the official Whistler's Cryptid podcast. But no, they're basically just a Native American folklore legend that has to, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be saying folklore. I feel like that's not the same as a legend, but you get the idea, right? The basic idea of them is to explain thunder in a way, ergo the name Thunderbird, but also the fact that they're ginormous creatures. And there is a photo of one supposedly having been killed in, I think, the 1800s by, I think there were some either hunters or miners, one or the other. Cool activity. All right, this is the big one, especially because we haven't also on the Whistlers, we haven't dealt with the cult yet, so this is interesting. Especially animal mutilations. Various incidents of animal mutilation have been reported, particularly in Freetown and Fall River, where local police were called to investigate mutilated animals believed to be the work of a cult. 2 specific incidents in 1998, the year I was born, were reported. One in which a single adult cow was found butchered in the woods. The other, that could have just been a person needing food and killing a cow. The other in which a group of calves were discovered in clearing, grotesquely mutilated as if part of a ritual. Okay, well, that one I can't really explain. Native American curses. According to one tale, Native Americans have cursed a swamp centuries ago because of conflict with colonial settlers. A revered object of the Wampanoag people, a belt known as the Wampum Belt, was lost during King Philip's War. Legend says that the area owes its paranormal unrest to the fact this belt was lost from the native people. Unreliable source? Well, what's the source? And then the Pukwudgie. A creature from Algonquin folklore. The local Wampanoag people consider them to be dangerous tricksters. They have been especially associated with the Freetown State Forest within the Bridgewater Triangle. I believe last week we heard about them a little bit while we were looking into the Alux. The Alux is a Mayan trickster that is conjured up by the use of the farmer's blood and a clay figurine, and this is a very Mexican-based cryptid in the coast, the western coast of Mexico. And it's one of those where it serves 7 years of protecting the farm, and then after the 7 years are up, you basically have to trap it in a house, or else it will begin to put curses on the farm and the people at the farm. So, trickster. Except for the 7 years where it decides to be good, which confuses me, but whatever. Okay, so that is the Wikipedia article for the Bridgewater Triangle. All right, and we're 50 minutes in, or actually 20 minutes in, and it's not too bad. I wonder if I click on the coordinates here. Okay, so yeah, so this is like the edge. Yeah, so it's basically right here. So the triangle goes from Freetown to Rehoboth. I don't know how to say it. And up to Rainham. Now, the triangle itself covers an enormous area, but not so big that you wouldn't be able to find your way around, right? So, let us... 20 minutes in and I'm already yawning. What the heck? All right. My number one thing is I want to look at the forest. But before we do that, I'm going to look at the Hockomock Swamp. So let's check out what the Wikipedia says here. Okay. So this is... I wonder if... actually, hold on. Let's open a new tab. And then Bridgewater Triangle. And... do we got an image of it? Because I would really like... Yeah, okay, this is perfect. So... Beautiful. Okay. So this is actually a really good illustration, I guess, of different aspects of the triangle that we're looking at today. So we got the swamp is towards the tip of the triangle, and it's actually closer to Bridgewater than anything else. So that's important to know, I feel. Yeah. Okay. Thank you to Michael Naughton and David Butler and Diego Fujiwara / the Globe staff. So let's check out the swamp. So just for reference, we're looking right about here on the map. All right, it basically goes from the far left of the triangle to the far right, and it separates the town of Bridgewater from the rest of the triangle, more or less. All right, the Hockomock Swamp is a vast wetland encompassing much of the northern part of southeastern Massachusetts. This 16,950 acre, whatever that measurement is, land is considered the largest freshwater swamp in the state. It acts as a natural flood control mechanism for the region. History. During the 17th century, the Hockomock Swamp was used by a fortress by the Wampanoag, the predominating tribe of natives in the area, against invasion by early English settlers. It played a role in King Philip's War as a strategic base of operations for Metacomet, also known as King Philip, to launch assaults upon nearby English settlements. During the 18th and 19th centuries, Euro-American settlers deemed the swamp to be worthless, barren land, and attempted to drain it and convert it into profitable farmland. Reverend and historian William L. Chafin of Easton was an early advocate of drainage schemes. However, the natives of the region placed high value on the swamp. For centuries, natives had relied on hunting game there, and the swamp had gained a revered status among them. They named it Hockomock, the Algonquin term meaning place where spirits dwell. In addition to life-sustaining activities, much of the swamp served a dual purpose as a sacred burial ground. The Hockomock is occasionally referred to as the Hobomok. Really? The Wampanoag worshipped and feared Hobomok, aka Hobomok. Okay, we got a lot of names going on here for this one swampland. The chief deity of death and disease. Hobomok, composed of human souls of the dead, was known to congregate in areas like the Hockomock. Oh my god. I'm losing them. Thus, the terms Hockomock and Hobomok became interchangeable among non-natives when referring to the swamp or the spirit. There are many stories and legends that have become associated with the swamp. Even in modern times, it has for some remained a place of mystery and fear. The paranormal enthusiast community considers the Hockomock Swamp part of the Bridgewater Triangle, which we're reading about today. Archaeology. Excavation of the Hockomock and its immediate surrounding areas on the Taunton River have produced very important archaeological findings dating back to the early Archaic period of North America. The early Archaic was approximately 9,000 to 8,000 BP before present? What does that mean? Okay, sure. I don't know what that unit of time is, but okay. From 1946 to 1951, the Warren K. Moorhead chapter of the Massachusetts Archaeological Society worked under director Dr. Maurice Robbins to unearth the Titicut site. The Titicut site, located along the Taunton River in Bridgewater, produced thousands of artifacts during the early Archaic to the Contact period. Contact period? 8600 to 400 BP, I guess, including hearths and pits, pot molds, red paint, ceremonial deposits, and a rectangular lodge floor. In addition to these examples of life at that time was the discovery of the Taunton River bifurcate? Okay, arrowhead. 13 of these points used in hunting large game animals were discovered. The Nunkatusit River site, which runs from Lake Nippinkit through the Hockomock Swamp, were also bifurcated points. Okay, I'm sorry for my butchering of language. I'm really trying. The swamp's environment is part of the northeastern coastal forest ecology ecozone. Okay, I'm gonna call it ecozone. It spans 6 municipal. I always struggle to say it. I know this word this time. I just struggle to say it. Municipalities in Massachusetts: Bridgewater, Easton, Norton, Rainham, Taunton, and West Bridgewater, which is also the Bridgewater Triangle. At least 13 rare and endangered species of plant and animal reside in the Hockomock, including the Long's bulrush, ringed bog hunter dragonfly. Oh, that's cute. Gypsy wart. Okay. Blanding's turtle. Aw, little guy. Round-fruited false loose trife. Oh, is this just... Okay, all of these. Just go and come and borrow now. Okay, the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, Massachusetts, owns approximately 5,000 acres within all 6 communities, and the Hockomock Swamp Wildlife Management Area provides across the public via recreational areas. Activities such as hunting, fishing, boating, canoeing, swimming, and observation of and study of flora and fauna are allowed and encouraged. Major habitats include oak, conifer forest, cultivated grassland, cultivated field, emergent freshwater wetland, palustrine woodland swamp, shrub, scrub, wetland, lake/pond, river/stream, and stopover area. Oh, goodness gracious, Miss Molly. Migratory birds. Okay. Most of the swamp remains untouched by development, in large part due to many years of pushing for environmental protection legislation. In 1971, approximately 1 year after the United States Environmental Protection Agency was established, Massachusetts House of Representatives member John Ames, I couldn't tell if that was R, N, or M. I'm getting new glasses soon, by the way. Thankfully. John Ames presented findings from several intellectual leaders in the field. A modern-day proponent of conservation, Mr. Ames ensured that the Hockomock was protected by law. Hockomock, Wonder Wetland, was a pamphlet received by each and every legislator at the time. Included were works by Kathleen Anderson, then director of the Manomet Bird Observatory, and Ted Williams, then managing editor of the Massachusetts Division of Fisheries and Games Massachusetts Wildlife Magazine. I wonder if that's the same Ted Williams as baseball. The Hockomock Swamp System was designated an area of critical environmental concern in 1990. Alright, so that was a lot of terminology. Excuse me. Yeah, that was a lot of terminology there, I'm not gonna lie. But, even so pretty much the swamp wetland was more or less a place of environmental concern, but was also an important place to the natives of the region, I guess, as the Wikipedia puts it. To use the proper terminology, I believe. But we do have different things here with the swamp. So let's look at Bridgewater Triangle Hockomock Swamp. There we go. Actually, it's just a search term. Well, I guess we could look at the pictures first. Very, very pretty. Very beautiful. Yeah, that's pretty. Ooh, that's a nice picture. That's nice. Shout out to ranker.com. Don't go there. I'm not suggesting you do, only because I don't know if it's a trustworthy site, so go there at your own risk. Alright, so, what do we got? We got... Let's go to the bridgewaterpubliclibrary.org. The actual town itself. Bridgewater Triangle... Actually, hold on. When was it? Oh, that's a lot. Alright. Wow. I didn't think that there was going to be this much research done on the swamp alone. Wow. Okay. Well, my cat's fur. I probably won't get into the swamp super deep then. This might be a video. Huh. Alright, well. Excuse me. The Bridgewater Public Library has maintained a collection of articles related to the Bridgewater Triangle and Hockomock Swamp. There are many articles available online, and where possible, links have been provided. Many of the pieces maintained in this collection were gifted to the library by a member of the local paranormal community, Joseph DeAndrade. Writings and contributions from Mr. DeAndrade can be found on the resources from DeAndrade page. Photographs from the Bridgewater Photographs collection, 60s, 70s. Learn more. Alright, well. Basically. Oh, they even scanned them. Look at that. How nice. Is this just one page? Yeah, it is. I guess we could give this one a quick read. Unknown time and date of this, but that's okay. The Bermuda Triangle may lay claim as the vortex of mystery, but Massachusetts boasts its own weird window. Take a map and take a pen, connect the dots between Abington, Freetown, and Rehoboth. There lies the Bridgewater Triangle. Superimposed over much of the 5,200-acre Hockomock Swamp, it is a window area where the paranormal and abnormal soar. Despite the encroachment of civilization, the swamp remains wild at its core, an able host of primitive and puzzling. From Bigfoot to UFOs, Triangle has hosted an equally wild assortment of phenomena, as cryptozoologists, students of unknown or undiscovered animals, call them. In the colonial times, there were things called yellow days, said Lauren Coleman, a Maine writer who coined the term Bridgewater Triangle in the 1970s. I would so love to talk with Lauren Coleman. I gotta look into Lauren Coleman's books. I would love to talk to Lauren Coleman. Been in the game for years, man. Been in the game. The sky is shown with an eerie, sulphurous yellow light. Spook lights, unexplainable elusive balls of light, allegedly... Yellow days. Spook lights, unexplainable, elusive balls of light, allegedly swirl near the dog track in Rainham. Then there was the giant bird spotted in 1988, which would be the Thunderbird, and the bloodthirsty hound spotted one year gnawing the throats of two ponies, which would be the giant vicious dogs. The swamp boasts an ancient burial ground, possibly 8,000 years old, in Ditton Rock, which bears antique graffiti from colonial and modern times. As far as Bigfoot goes, Coleman says even cryptozoologists such as himself are skeptical about many reports, but he puts credence in other sightings. I think 80% of the Bigfoot reports in eastern U.S. are misidentification and hoax, he said, but there does seem to be something going on here. I call them unexplainables. I think we may have some migration of these creatures. I like it. And this is the Bridgewater Triangle, right? Ooh, even got it framed. Look at that. Guy looks like a alternate. Look at how white it... Yeah, if my eyes were even half as white as that, ugh. I wish. Too busy staying up at 5 a.m. All right, well, there's a triangle. There's no circa on that, but that's okay. And then you have a bunch up here about it, but that's pretty much the totaling of it all. So interesting stuff. We do have a lot. The Yellow Days was interesting. Ooh, Frank Sinatra. I love Sinatra. Yellow Days, spook lights. Alright, well, that's not gonna get me anywhere. Maybe another day. Maybe another day. But even still. So that's a swamp. Now, the swamp is more so about creatures and curses and things of the nature. But there's a lot more to the Bridgewater Triangle than just a Hockomock Swamp. That's just one small part of it. So, we have... Just making sure we're all good on the stream. I want to make sure our connection is excellent, which it is. Okay. Freetown Fall River State Forest. Now, this place... That's the place that's getting me, right? So, let's look at... I'm actually... You know what? You know what I'm actually going to do? Bookmarks. Add folder. It's about time I do this. Y is after E. Okay. Shut up. Cryptids. Alright. So, Freetown. So, on the whole, it's an average state forest, alright? However, so, I guess, yeah, it's a short article. We'll read about the Freetown Fall River State Forest, but it's this last part that I really want to hone in on. The Freetown Fall River State Forest, commonly shortened to Freetown State Forest, is a publicly owned forest covering more than 5,000 acres, 2,000 HA, whatever that is, in the city of Fall River and the towns of Freetown and Lakeville in the state of Massachusetts. The forest lies mostly on the center of town of Freetown, about a third of the town, dividing Assinet, East Freetown, and Fall River's northeastern boundary. The forest land includes Profile Rock, a granite outcropping which local Native Americans believe to be the image of Chief Massasoit, and a 227-acre, 92 whatever, Wampanoag Reservation. Really? There's a reservation of the Wampanoag. That's interesting. Okay. The forest is owned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and operated by the Department of Conservation and Recreation with headquarters in Assinet. History. The state first acquired land in Assinet for forest purposes in 1913, purchasing approximately 9 acres of forage pond from Levi Churchill of Berkeley. The majority of the land was acquired over 20 years, beginning in 1930s. Recent additions to the forest include 87 acres in 2012, 29 acres in 2015. Wow, very recent. 77 in 2015 in Assinet, and 613 acres in 2015. That's a lot of recent stuff. Wow, I'm impressed. The Civilian Conservation Corps worked on property from 1935 to 1937. On September 28, 2002, National Public Lands Day, a statue was dedicated in honor to the program and its efforts in the forest. That's pretty cool. Okay. Civilian Conservation Corps. For workplace, study, and health. That's pretty cool. Okay. Activities and amenities. The forest has more than 50 miles of unpaved roads and trails for walking, hiking, biking, cross-country skiing, dog sledding, off-road vehicle, and equestrian use. A picnic area with wading pool, playing fields, and restrooms located near the main entrance. Rattlesnake Brook is stocked with brook trout in spring. Hunting is available on a restricted basis. The forest is home to the annual Fun Day in the Forest event sponsored by the Friends of Freetown Fall River State Forest. For a number of years, it also served as a course of the Big Bang mountain bike race, a benefit event for the Independence Day events for Freetown. In the news, fires. The Freetown State Forest has suffered fires on several occasions. September of 80, a fire burned approximately 230 acres, 93 HA, of woodland adjacent to and in the state forest over the course of a week. Oof. Fires in 1988 and 91 burned an estimated 100 acres, 40 HA each, while a fire in March 76 destroyed an estimated 500 acres, 200 HA. The last major fire occurred on April 30th, 2001, when fire destroyed between 90 and 100 acres, 40 HA, of the forest. Most of the fires were put out on April 30th, while small fires continued to May 1st. Okay. Here's where we come in. Crimes and incidents. The Freetown State Forest has been the location of several crimes and incidents. Due to these events, the forest has become associated with so-called Bridgewater Triangle. In November of 1978, the body of Mary Lou Aruda, a 15-year-old cheerleader, was abducted from Rainham, Massachusetts. That September was discovered tied to a tree in the state forest. James M. Cater of Brockton, previously convicted of kidnapping in 67, was convicted of kidnapping and murder of Aruda in 79. The Massachusetts Supreme Court Judicial Court overturned the verdict, and he was convicted again in 76. The verdict was once again overturned. He was retried in 92, with that attempt ending in a mistrial. Man, is in and out of court like a... I don't know. I don't got one for that, but that's crazy. In 1980, while investigating another local murder, police had approached by individuals who claimed to have witnessed the satanic cult activity within the forest. These reports would have bearing on the fourth Cater trial, 96-2000, which ended with the conviction upheld. In 96 trial, the defense charged that police had withheld information relating to the alleged satanic cult activity, which it claimed could have been provided an alternative to Cater. What? Oh, Cater is the guy who... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you telling me... Are you telling me that the guy who kidnapped... who... I didn't think this was going to become a true crime podcast. Oh, man. It comes with the business, I guess. All right. James N. Cater of Brockton was previously convicted of kidnapping in 1967. He was convicted of the kidnapping murder of Aruda in 1979. The Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court overturned the verdict and was convicted again in 1986, which was once again overturned, then retried in 1992, with that ending in a mistrial. In 1980, while investigating another local murder, police have been approached by individuals who claimed they witnessed satanic cult activity within the forest. These reports would have bearing on the fourth Cater trial, which hasn't been talked about yet in the previous paragraph. And remember, Cater is the guy who was convicted multiple times of, or attempted to be convicted multiple times of the kidnapping and murder of Mary Lou Aruda. So they witnessed satanic cult activity. And then from 90, which ended with the conviction upheld. In the 96 trial, the defense charged that police had withheld information relating to the alleged satanic cult activity, which it claimed could have provided an alternative to Cater. So, if it's saying alternative, then that means that even if it wasn't Cater, there's like that could be an alternative. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. And that was in 96. 3 more murders were subsequently related to the state forest. In 87, a transient drifter mistaken for an undercover police officer was murdered in the forest. A transient drifter mistaken for an undercover officer was murdered in the forest. And in 01, 2 men were found shot to death on Bell Rock Road, which runs through the forest, connecting Assonet and Fall River. 2 assaults were also reported, a Fall River man in 91 and teenager from New Bedford in 98. Other incidents include hazardous waste dumping in 96, reports of aggressive abandoned dogs in 06, and reports of because why not, right? We got satanic cults, we got hazardous waste dumping, we have vicious dogs, we have multiple murders, and we might as well throw in an escaped emu as well, wandering the forest. In 2015, a woman slid 80 feet down a cliff while spray painting. It's not funny. While spray painting graffiti, broke her ankle, had to be rescued. In January of 2016, an illegally dumped boat was discovered. In May 2016, wire cables were found stretched across the recreational trails, apparently intended to cause harm to off-road motorbike riders. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a heck of a lot. Wow. Well, okay. Wow. So, what is 12 here? All right. So the Boston Globe. You know what? Let's just search this up. If we want more activity, we gotta dig a little bit around the bones of the dinosaur here. Okay, we're gonna ignore that. I guess we can't. Yeah, there's not a lot of info on just the first page of DuckDuckGo and Firefox. Yeah, now we're getting into Yankees and Red Sox. All right, well, we'll shelf that. Wow. Okay, so what was the page before this? Just this. Cult. Oh, did they actually make a show? What is this? So, I guess they made... Alright, well, I guess that they, Oh, wait, what? No, go back. What is this? Alright, well... There is a documentary about Fall River murders, it looks. But... Alright. This is what we want. The Satanic Panic. Hovering over all of this is the specter of Satanism. Fall River delves a bit into the history of the Satanic Panic of the late 19... Did I say picnic panic? Of the late 1970s and early 80s, how parents and law enforcement became convinced that women and children being preyed upon by devil worshippers in the woods used as the scenes of animal sacrifices and evil rituals, which is connected to the calves that we saw earlier in the Wikipedia article. Fall River describes how Drew was portrayed as the leader of a satanic cult that killed Marsden as part of a sacrifice. He even repeats the often-told story of Drew and other cult members playing soccer with Marsden's decapitated... Oh, okay. Well, but is that truth? Were the girls victim of evil? Blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of questions. This speaks to a large point the Fall River makes over the course of his 4 episodes. Throughout the series, our viewpoint is consistently shifting, and what seems like truth one moment ends up seeming suspect the next. People who are portrayed as experts after... Stop doing that. After a little digging, shown to have shaky reliability at best, it makes for a fascinating, gripping watch. I guess I've got something to watch. Alright, well, I have something to watch eventually, I guess. But yeah, I mean, even it goes as far as being in a TV documentary, so... Yeah. TheForestDark.com. SeriousUniverse.org. We've read them before. We've been here before. MU. I'm a big fan of Mysterious Universe. Alright. This is the one that you have to pay for the light view, which... Hey, Mysterious Universe, if you want more money, you should swap that around. At the same time, that's kind of you to do for the users, so... At your own pace, I suppose. There seem to be places in this world to... Oh, okay. Is there a place... Because there are other things that I want to do research in, so I don't want to delve too much into the satanic part of the state forest. Okay. So... We're going to also bookmark this. And we're going to head back here. And we're just going to head back to Bridgewater. And then we're going to open up... Where was it? I would really like to learn about the Taunton State Hospital. Now, is this a still active hospital? It is a course, it's psychiatric. Whenever we deal with this kind of stuff, it's always a psychiatric hospital. It's always a mental ward. Is it still going? Yeah, it looks like it still is. Yeah. All right. Quick read. So, Taunton State Hospital is a psychiatric hospital located on Hodges Avenue in Taunton, Massachusetts. Established in 1854, it was originally known as the State Lieutenant the State Lieutenant Hospital. Yeah. The State Lunatic. Oh my word, that was tough for me to read. Lunatic Hospital at Taunton. It was the second state asylum in Massachusetts. Most of the original part of the facility was built in a unique and rare neoclassical style designed by architects Boyden and Ball. It is also a Kirkbride Plan Hospital and is located on a large 154-acre 62 HA farm along the Mill River. The complex was expanded at various times to include over 40 buildings and structure. 40 buildings? Wow. The main part of the hospital, known as the Kirkbride Building, closed in 75, and the buildings fell into disrepair. In 94, the property was added to the National Register of Historic Places as a historic district. In 99, the main dome building collapsed. In 06, a large part of the historic complex was destroyed by fire. In 09, the remaining parts were demolished. However, many newer buildings remain. Interesting. In 1851, the Massachusetts General Court appointed a commission to find a site for a new asylum to relieve the pressure of a rising patient population from its only facility in Worcester. The new facility at Taunton opened in April 1854. The large sprawling campus located on a hill offered fresh air and sunlight. Following Kirkbride's concept for treating mental health patients, the complex was expanded in the early 1870s and again between 1887 and 1906. From the 1930s, juvenile facilities, crises centers, and sick wards and group homes were added. One of the building's most beautiful features was its breezeways, which were added in the 1890s to connect the end of the wards of to the hospital's infirmary buildings. Its distinct cupolas, large dome cast iron capitals, and window bar gave this building its own very unusual personality. In 1975, the main part of the hospital was closed and abandoned. In 1999, I don't know why I'm getting like a little freaked out. This is a first. All right. In 1975, the main part of the hospital was closed and abandoned. In 1999, the large dome towering over the hospital's administration building collapsed. Then on the night of March 1906, a massive fire broke out in the center of the building, which included the administration and theater. Sections damaged by fire were then leveled, leaving only the decaying wings of the Kirkbride building. In May 2009, demolition of the remaining historic sections of the Kirkbride building began. The facility had numerous architectural features that were salvaged and sold to individuals and companies throughout the United States, including architectural granite, bricks, timbers, iron gates, vintage plumbing and lighting and fixtures and furniture, and slate roofing tiles. The project was completed in early 2010. Notable patients were Anthony Santo, an Italian-American serial killer, and Jane Toppin, a sociopathic serial killer. Recent history. In the early 90s, a $19 million capital improvement plan was implemented by the state to improve the still operating portion of the campus. In early 2012, the state announced the closure of the remaining parts of the facility containing 169 beds. A plan to keep a portion of the facility open was vetoed by Governor Deval Patrick in July 2012. Taunton State Hospital remains open and houses 48 psychiatric beds, the Women's Recovery from Addiction Program, a residential program under the Department of Youth Services, and a substance abuse program administered by High Point Treatment Center. There's also a greenhouse on campus that is staffed by patients and sells a variety of plants, seasonal produce to the public. Alright, so it's... I don't want to say it's a generic state hospital, but it is a psychiatric state hospital that is about as claimed to be haunted as you could probably get. Yeah. And of course it was used by satanic cults, because Once word got out that the satanic cults might be involved with the killing of the 15-year-old cheerleader, then all bets are off with the safe forest. We got the Hornbrine School. Again, short. Oh. Sorry. There we go. All right. It is 9 o'clock. Probably going to go for a little bit longer here. We still got some more to research. The Hornbrine School is a historic one-room schoolhouse at 144 Hornbine Road in Rehoboth, Mass. Built in 1862 and operated until 1937, it is the best preserved rural schoolhouse in the town. The school was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1983 and now serves as a local history museum. Description and history. The Hornbine School is located in southern Rehoboth on the west side of Hornbine Road, opposite Baker Street and the Hornbine Baptist Church. It is a single-story wood frame structure with a front-facing gable roof, clapboard siding, and a brick chimney at the rear. The front facade facing east is 3 bays symmetrically arranged with the entrance at the center and sash windows on either side. The side walls have 4 windows irregularly placed. The schoolhouse was built in 1862 and is the best preserved period schoolhouse in the town. Originally one of 15 district schools, it was district number 10. It remained in use even as the town began consolidating its districts in the 1920s. It finally closed in 1937. It was afterward converted for use as a private residence and eventually fell into disrepair. It was acquired by the nonprofit Hornbine School Association in 1968, which now operates as a local history museum. Cool. And of course, because it's old and a schoolhouse that would have definitely had children involved, then it can't not be haunted. So it's going to be haunted. Now, Bridgewater State University, this is probably going to be a long one. Yeah, I don't feel like going down through all this. So let's just see if there is a thing about haunting. I don't see anything. Nothing stands out. So we're going to move on from the Bridgewater State University. And we got one place left. Profile Rock. Plymouth Rock even made this little song. Profile Rock, also known as the Old Man of Joshua's Mountain, was a 50-foot high granite rock formation located in Freetown, Massachusetts, just outside Assonet Village and near the Freetown State Forest. Local Wampanoags believe it to be the image of Chief Massasoit. The Wampanoags occupied the region of Rhode Island and Massachusetts, bounded by Narragansett Bay to the west and the Atlantic Ocean to the east, and Chief Massasoit was a close friend to the early Pilgrim settlers. Joshua's Mountain was named after Joshua Tisdale, who was the first to settle near the site. It was privately owned for several years by former Freetown selectman Ben Evans, who sold it to Commonwealth of Massachusetts to be used as a state park tourist attraction. In recent years, it was recently vandalized by graffiti, despite an aggressive cleanup effort by the Bristol County Sheriff. On June 19, 2019, at approximately 9:22 a.m., the Freetown Police Department, along with the Freetown Fire Department, responded to the Freetown State Forest Profile Rock Park for a report of recent damages to the historic rock formation, Old Man of Joshua's Mountain. First responders and park officials discovered that a large portion of the rock had been broken off. Oh, that's too bad. State Forest officials have closed the park until further notice due to the unsafe environment. The public is encouraged to stay away from the area. That's what you say. Alright. Well, those are like the points of interest. Give me 1 second. I have to really badly blow my nose. I'll be right back. Okay. So, we have a lot going on here. Now, what I don't like is... Ooh. I might need new headphones soon. I just went from left ear to right ear in that while moving a wire. What I don't like is the cult. Okay, I can deal with the poltergeist. I can deal with the UFOs and the paranormal humanoids. I can deal with the Thunderbirds, and I can deal with the Pukwudgie. I can't deal with the satanic cult. So, if I ever do go here with a crew, it will definitely be around the forest in a certain place. Lily! Hello, Lily. Welcome, welcome. We are reading about Bridgewater Triangle, and getting kind of close to the end here. But, yeah, it's a doozy. It's a doozy. I do have a lot to read up on with this here. Where is it? Bridgewater. The Bridgewater Triangle of the Bridgewater Public Library itself actually decided to take a bunch of articles and put them in. I did! Thank you! Mace Dog very kindly gave me his old camera because he got an upgraded camera, and it's, you know, he very kindly decided to give me his old one as a hand-me-down. So massive hats off and thank you to Mace Dog. Yes, it is a new camera. And it goes much better with the green screen as well. A lot better refresh rate, and, you know, just like if I do this, you know what I mean? It just kind of like fades out the blur instead of, you know, see-through hand. So it's a lot better. It's a lot better. Thank you for noticing. The Bridgewater Triangle. What do I think? I think that this is one that is going to need to be revisited. My brother went to Bridgewater State University, which is... Yes, it is. It is in the Triangle. Did he ever mention anything about ghosts and paranormal? I mean, usually universities have, you know... I mean, even Framingham State University had rumors of ghost sightings and stuff. But Bridgewater State University specifically, did he ever come up with any stories or anything like that? I'm just curious if he ever did, because that's supposedly... a big part of this. And I remember saying there were rumors going around, but I don't think you ever experienced it. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much like me at the one I went to, Framingham State University. So yeah, no, this is one that I will eventually likely be going to. I just need to find the right time and day and people and come up with a plan. But I think that's gonna do it. So this was more of a research into Bridgewater than it is the cryptid part of Bridgewater Triangle. One day when I go back and revisit a bunch of these old, well, what will eventually be old episodes, I will look further into this. But for now, I just want to say, I'm sorry that I'm ending it right as you join Lily, but thank you for joining regardless. And if you're watching this as a video on demand, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you learned something today, and I hope that you join me next week at Wednesday, 8 p.m. EST on this channel right here. If you want to be notified for that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And other than that, I've got nothing else to say. Thank you to Mace Dog and Lily for joining me in chat today, and I hope that this was a fun little thing for you to just listen to on in the background. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. And remember to someone loves you if you don't know it yet. We'll revisit the Bridgewater Triangle one day, and I might even do an on-the-grounds research eventually. We'll see. But... And also, I wanna read more about Lauren Coleman. She's pretty cool. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and goodbye.